All right, another guitar lesson here for you guys. So I've been doing a lot of triad stuff. If you haven't checked out my series on triads, it's just kind of a very foundational. I think it's 5 or 6 lessons, and it really gets you seeing the triads, seeing the patterns, understanding the triads. And so this lesson, I'd like to just show you kind of how to start practicing your triads, because there's a lot of different ways you can go about this. It's really important that you start to utilize this information and put it into your playing as quickly as possible. It's not a means to an end. It's not, oh, I learned my triad shapes and now what's next? It's learn your triad shapes, see how they show up in the songs you're playing or the music you're writing or the improvisation you're doing. This is really kind of the foundation of music harmony in general, these major and minor triads. So let's just take a look at, let's just do D major here. So if you take a look at D major, another way to practice your triads would be one way would be to just take each triad and just play it back and forth down the neck, right? Then I go to the next string set. And then the next string set. That kind of thing. So, and if you don't know your triad shapes, again, this is information you should know for this lesson. Now, another way to do it is to go vertically this way. So if I start maybe here on this D major triad second inversion, okay, then I go to the next one, it's root, and then first, and then second. And what happens is you see the CAGED shape. So if you're familiar with your CAGED system, the triads are kind of the micro of the CAGED system. It's just kind of, we've got a magnifying glass and we're just looking at the nuts and the bolts of the CAGED system. So that C shape for this D major chord is just built like so. Second inversion, root, first, second. They just go in order. Okay, you start seeing that, then you can start piecing these triads together and you can play bigger triads, or I guess multiple triads to get bigger voicings of that chord, which is just what the C shape is. Okay? So multiple triads, voicings stacked on top of each other. So practicing that way is going to be beneficial so you can see how the triad actually comes out. If we come down here, we've got the next one would be root, first, second, root. Now this is part of the G shape, although if you're going to keep true to the triad, you kind of go back on that one, but you could do the full G shape by just adding that on top. That's not a triad, that ends up being more of like a power chord kind of thing, 1, 5, 1. Or actually, what is that? We're in D, that's 1, 3, 1. That's a power chord, 1, 5, 1 there. So, and then the next one we could go down here, first inversion, runs into second inversion, into root, into first, which you get to see that's part of that E shape. Okay? So that's nice. So this is all about pattern recognition here. And this is kind of the grunt work. So after you've done a little bit of grunt work, and this intellectual work, this pattern recognition, really important that you take a break from that and just play. So if I was just going to play using this information after I put some time in, maybe spend however long you want, I'm going to start utilizing this in a more of a musical way. So I might start playing my D major chord here, like my open chord. And then I'm just going to say something. So using my triads. And then I can play, I don't have to play that open. I can play the E shape down here. Or the A shape. Now that's all D major. That's just a little bit of an example. I'm making it musical. I'm being creative, okay? That takes some time to get into the flow of that. A easy way to do it would just be, especially if you're, not experienced with that kind of thing, just do like maybe, let's grab a metronome here. Let's check it out. Metronome, very important. So let's say I just do like 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Play the A shape there, come down. E shape there. Right? Maybe eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's a really nice way. Take your time, go slow. Again, if you haven't done this before, it's going to be a little clunky at first. You might have some ideas that you just can't quite execute. Just keep powering through. Have fun. Find these spots. Learn these triads and learn the pattern, because ultimately what happens is every time you encounter a D major chord in a song, now you can kind of add your own flavor to it, right? So you can play any voicing you want across the neck of the guitar. And you can create movement. So that's just creating motion where there isn't technically any harmonic motion in the past, just hanging out on this D major chord here. It's fine. Sometimes it's important to do that. But we're trying to get out of boxes. We want to be able to play the entire instrument. And what's really cool is after you do this for a while and you get comfortable with D, let's say you move back and forth between two major chords. Now, say D and C. So here's our D chord. And then C. Now I'm going to move it around. So this this lesson kind of just showing you, almost trying to inspire you to learn this stuff and to show you kind of where you're headed. If you learn the patterns, if you put the time in, that what I just played there was all improvised, just 2 chords, and a D and a C chord show up in thousands of songs. Thousands. Not to mention that these triad shapes are all the same for every major chord. So you can do that for every major chord. And then anytime you run into major chords in songs, you're going to be able to play your entire fretboard. Same thing goes with the minor. If I'm doing that with minor, A minor, maybe I go to G major now. Back to A minor. Back to G major. A minor. So yeah, you get the idea. So hopefully this encourages you to practice this stuff, incorporate it into your playing. And yeah, hit me up with any questions, any kind of comments or anything. Just let me know. Yeah. Peace out.